All right, everyone, welcome to the 187 District Court. For those of you who are on by Zoom, these are the rules of the 187 District Court. You're in the courtroom. Today is Tuesday. Let's keep it as a happy Tuesday. Let's not try to turn it into a difficult Monday. If you're on Zoom, whatever you could not do if you were physically in the courtroom, you are not allowed to do on this Zoom screen. If you behave inappropriately on the Zoom screen, you will be forced to appear in person in the 187 District Court. The 187 District Court is located at 300 De La Rosa downtown. And what's going to end up happening is you're going to have to get a Lyft or an Uber or either drive downtown. If you drive downtown, you're going to find a lot of one-ways. And if you're able to find parking space, you're going to find that parking is now expensive. If you take the Via Bus, they still do not give change. So that Via Bus drive is probably going to cost you $10 or maybe $20. If you're at the jail, you're not allowed to use the chat box or the internet. If you do any of these things, you will be sent back. To those of you who are on bond, you're not allowed to be cooking, doing laundry, doing chores, or at work. If you're at work, you need to let your employer know that you need to take a break because you are in court. I'm going to open up breakout rooms. When I open up breakout rooms, it will invite everyone to a breakout room. Do not, I repeat, do not go to a breakout room unless I specifically call you by name and assign you to a breakout room. To those who are accused or defendants, your attorney is probably going to want to speak to a prosecutor before they speak to you. So please do not ask if you can go to a breakout room because I'm going to ask you if you were requested. If you have a plea bargain agreement, no matter how small that agreement is, you'll need to put it in the chat box to the court coordinator. She's going to be listed on the screen as Ferguson coordinator. To all the attorneys, she will need to know whether or not it is for deferred adjudication, or whether or not it's for regular probation, or whether or not it is for time. Attorneys, if your client is on bond, then we will need to know your client's email address. To all the attorneys, if you go to a breakout room with your client and your client is an inmate, you need to make sure that you bring them out of the breakout room with you. Do not leave them in the breakout room by themselves. Do not tell them that they are excused. To everyone on the Zoom screen, I'm the only person who can excuse you. Your attorney cannot excuse you. So if your attorney tells you, I'm done for today, you are not done unless I tell you you're done. So do not leave this Zoom screen. If you leave this Zoom screen, what's going to end up happening is you're going to be required to appear in person in 187 District Court. Also, everyone who's on this Zoom screen, your video is not allowed to go dark. Only two exceptions for that. One, if you're on your phone and you're signing paperwork, or two, somebody's calling you on your phone. And if they're calling on your phone, you need to immediately hit decline and your video will pop up. We've been doing Zoom now for 2 years or maybe longer. Everyone should know how to use Zoom. So if there's a defendant or attorney on here who does not know how to use Zoom, then you need to appear in the 187 District Court. So again, it's Tuesday. Let's make it a happy Tuesday. And I'm going to take up the people on screen first so I can get you assigned to your breakout rooms. Attorneys, please add to your name the name of your client and whether or not it's criminal trial division or family violence. Robert Maurer, I see that you put CTD as though you're the client.
I have 3 clients, all CTD, and I don't want to take up the entire screen.
I'm going to help you with that. So what are your clients' names?
I have Jonathan Cedillo, Andre Watson, and Elizabeth Yepes.
All right, thank you. All right, this is the order of attorneys: Jay Norton, Robert Maurer, John Disrude, Paul Smith, Monica Guerrero, Derek Edmonds, and William Troy. So I'm going to assign you to breakout rooms. Just one moment. Jay Norton, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3.
Judge, I don't think I need a breakout room. We're just finishing the sentencing from yesterday.
All right, just give me a moment. We'll take that up.
Yes, ma'am.
And is Mr. Flores in the courtroom? All right, Mr. Flores. Are you ready to proceed, Mr. Norton?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Flores, if you'll come forward, please. Thank you for coming.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court, Brenda, you ready?
Yes.
Court is calling 2021 CR 7923, State of Texas versus Eric Anthony Flores. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state, for the defense?
Jay Norton for Mr. Flores.
And are you Mr. Flores?
Yes, ma'am.
For the record, Mr. Norton is by Zoom. Any objections to your attorney appearing by Zoom, Mr. Flores?
No, ma'am.
All right, we're here for sentencing. Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client, Mr. Norton?
Judge, it was an unusual set of circumstances. We just asked if the court would follow the plea agreement.
All right. The court will follow your plea bargaining agreement, sentence you to 12 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. There's a $500 fine, time and money will run concurrent. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
Nothing from the state.
No, ma'am, nothing for Mr. Flores.
All right, Mr. Flores, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
I do.
Okay. And if you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to your attorney, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Flores. We can go off the record. Mr. Flores, do better, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Good luck to you. Oh, by the way, did the head tattoos hurt?
It did, miss, but at the time I got it, I think I was just too immature to understand what I was doing, and it had a lot of pain, so it was
Okay.
good.
All right, have a good one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
Mr.
Judge.
Norton?
May I be?
Yes.
Have a wonderful day.
All right, thank you. You too, Robert Malum. Send you to breakout room number 3.
Yes, ma'am.
John Distrude.
Morning, Judge. I have Mr. Hamilton. He's a family violence case, and I do have an offer from the DA. So if I can meet with Mr. Hamilton, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hamilton, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4 with your attorney.
Judge, I think I'm on that case too.
Paul Smith.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Smith, I'll send you to number 4 too.
All righty. Thank you.
You're welcome. Monica Guerrero.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm sorry, I'm just having difficulty unmuting. I am waiting to talk to CTD, please. I'm sorry, family violence.
Okay, just give me a moment. I'm going to send you to number 5. Derek Edmonds.
Good morning, Judge. It's a family violence. I spoke with Michael, speaking with Michael at the last setting a couple weeks ago.
All right, I'll send you 6.
Thank you.
You're welcome. William Troy. I'll send you-
Yes, Judge, I've got Amber Plata and it's criminal trial division. I would like to speak with a prosecutor, Judge. Thank you, man.
You're welcome. Robert Guyana.
Morning, Judge. I need to speak with Joe Ray.
What is your client's name?
William Rivera.
I'm going to send you to number 8.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Leo Gonzalez. Is that Leo Gonzalez, the attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll send you to number 9. All
Here.
right, has every attorney on the Zoom screen been assigned? It appears that you have. All right, I'm going to take up the people in the courtroom now. John Young, who do you have?
I have Robert Alvarado, Your Honor, and because you're doing the docket, I was going to ask for permission to go to a couple of pleas in misdemeanor court.
All right. What's happened, Mr. Alvarado, is he in the box? They'll bring him out for trial.
He is not.
All right, they'll bring him out for trial. I think they're going to go get people now.
Yep.
So if you could be back here by 10, please.
I shall. Thank you, Your Honor.
And to all of those who are remaining here for trial, that doesn't mean that that's number one, because I haven't looked at the trial list yet. But I'm going to request that everyone be back here by 10 for trial. All right, Scott McCrum.
Yes, Judge. Mr. Prince is here, by the way, though.
Yes.
I had filed yesterday, is Michael here? Yeah. A motion to continue. And also, I don't think it hit your system yet, because I haven't even shown on my computer that the filing was accepted. What happened, Judge, is I got.
Just a second, we're not on the record yet. I need to read this.
Sure.
All right, the court is calling 2019 CR 4747, State of Texas versus Zachary Prince. And Mr. Prince, if you can come forward, please. I have parties announced for the record.
Michael Villarreal for the state.
Scott McCrum for Mr. Prince.
All right, this is set for jury trial today. And defense, the court is just now in receipt of your motion for continuance. Why are you asking for continuance?
The state provided notice of experts a while back. Admittedly, I don't recall the date, but it was sufficient notice. I mistakenly believe that the experts that they provided, the reason that they were going to use them was to the extent of the child's injuries, that it was serious bodily injury. They also had Nancy Kellogg as one, which I'm aware of the testimony that she usually offers. But it wasn't until last Thursday when speaking with Mr. Villarreal that he made it known to me that one of them would be testifying as to the ultimate issue in the case, which is whether the burns to the complaining witness child were caused, could have been caused accidentally or intentionally. That goes to the crux of the case. It's not the state's fault that they just told me about that Thursday. I should have inquired earlier, so I'm accepting the responsibility for it. But nevertheless, at this point, with that, I haven't consulted with an expert or tried to get an expert to get their opinion or to use at trial to counter the state's expert that the injuries could not have happened accidentally. And that goes to the whole crux of the case. And so without having an expert, without having anything at this point to go to trial to counter the state's expert, it puts us at a position that I don't think the defendant will have a reasonable chance at trial in his defense.
This case was indicted in April 24th, 2019.
Right. I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't had this from the beginning. I got appointed, I don't know what the issue was. I got appointed sometime last year. But that's not the issue. I still should have found out about those experts when they first gave notice, but I didn't inquire until Thursday.
State,
Hey, we're going to leave it up to the court's discretion as far as the motion for continuance is
do you
concerned.
have any objections to the motion for continuance?
No, Your Honor.
And I've been trying actually, Judge, since I found out Thursday to try to find an expert, and I'm whipping, I'm coming up zero. So I don't, it's going to be a chore for me to find one, but I need to find one. We need an expert, and the defendant needs an expert, but I don't think a week or two is going to be enough if you're inclined to grant the motion.
The court will write your motion. Ms. Ferguson, can you give me a date, please? All right, your new trial date is going to be July 12th. The court will not entertain any further motions for continuance without good cause.
I also have in front of the court, the motion for appointed expert judge, if you would consider that for me.
What amount of funds are you requesting?
I think 5,000 at this point would hopefully get someone on board.
All right, we can take that to the back and make, have the clerks make a copy for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Mr. Prince, they will give you a reset form. Andrew Crowley.
Because we're actively conferring, Mr. Medellin should be on Zoom right now. So Mario Medellin.
All right, thank you. Michael Belichick. Yes.
Tony's here ready. And I'm announcing not ready. I've not filed a motion for continuance. I have a Blu-ray disc that purportedly had over 4 gigabytes of video on it, but it's turned out to be blank or unreadable. I've tried this on 2 Blu-ray disc players that I have. I went to Best Buy. I can't get it to work. I don't know. I haven't talked to.
Michael, I did. I think you emailed Marcus yesterday. He
Yes,
was
I
out
did.
of the office, and he finally got to his email after
Okay.
hours. And at that point, it was like 7 o'clock. I realized we were
Sure.
back here in the morning.
I emailed Marcus about this yesterday because I didn't go to trial on the 3 cases that I was set for in other courts yesterday, suggesting that I could go to the DA's office and view whatever this video is in person.
All right, then you need to go upstairs and do it.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Mhm.
And may my client go up there with me? If not, then
I think potentially, Judge, we can maybe set it up in the courtroom here for her if she wants to view it. I can set it up in the courtroom here at some point.
Yes, or either you all can
I'll
set
just
it up
view
in the
it.
jury room if you want to set it
Okay.
up in the jury room.
Okay, we can try to do that.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Alfonso Cabanas. Good morning. Who's your client?
His name is Aaron Trevino, Your Honor. He's in custody.
Okay, all right, well, the deputies will be bringing him out.
Yes, Your Honor.
Paul Vasquez.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
We have 2 on the docket this morning. We have Liliana Barrios. They're both with 701 and Erica Morales. Judge, at some point late yesterday, the prosecutor submitted new discovery to our office. I have not reviewed it. They said it's a video and a
Video of what case?
that's on Liliana Barrios. I'm looking at the notes here. And the incident detail report on Liliana Barrios. Like I said, Judge, I haven't been to the office yet this morning. I came straight here since I was running late because of traffic. So I'll
All
go.
right, is this 701?
It is, Judge. And
All right, to the prosecutors and family violence, he needs the video so that he can view it.
there's one that was uploaded yesterday on Liliana Barrios.
I'll look at it real quick. I don't know what it could be.
Okay.
And then we also have Erica Morales. I'll confer with him as well. And then Judge, just real quickly, I'm covering for Guillermo Lara. He has a Christopher Diaz. He states he is ready for trial. He's in federal court in Del Rio, but he says he'll get here as soon as he can. If he does,
He doesn't need it done. We're going to be dismissing that case, Your Honor. Christopher
All right,
Diaz.
which one is that?
Christopher Diaz.
There we go.
Well, you tell him you did it.
Right.
Okay, try that
Now
fee.
you're asking, where is mine?
That's right, that's
For the
right.
one that I'm here for. Roberto Ambrosino.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. Who are you here for?
Ruby Caceres, it's an MTR that we kind of came up previously on, and she was sent away for competency about a year ago and just came back.
Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
It would be family violence.
I'm going to send you to breakout room number 10. Right. Paul Smith on Elijah Hamilton.
Yes, Judge. John and I talked with a client. We would like to speak to the Family Violence Division if possible.
All right, just give me a moment. I'm going to send you all to breakout room number 2.
Hamilton's not family violence.
Hamilton is not family violence.
Well, there's an ag assault, but I think John has the family violence case. And the ag assault, we're going to try. We just need a child aid on it.
All right, just go to the breakout room. Robert Rao.
Judge, I confirmed with Brittany, and I can report back on all 3 of my clients if you'd like me to.
All right, let's start with Cedillo.
Okay, so Judge, I talked to Brittany. She's going to check and see whether, in fact, there is a dashboard camera from the arresting officers. They have body camera, but no dashboard camera. We just don't know if this particular officer had it or not, because it's a traffic stop, a felony evading. And so I need to find out whether there is a dashboard camera before I proceed, either with the trial or with a plea.
Has an offer been tendered?
It has.
Where's Mr. Cedillo? Jonathan Cedillo.
He should be logged on, Judge.
I am right here.
How are you?
I'm right here.
TCL 20.
Yes.
So here's the thing, everyone. Everyone, we have been doing Zoom for over 2 years. I know that you know how to get on Zoom with your correct name. So from here on out, Mr. Cedillo, if you can't put your correct name on Zoom, your Zoom privileges are going to be revoked. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you can't figure that out, then you're going to end up appearing in person. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I can't hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
You have lost your audio.
Judge,
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I can hear him.
Can you hear me?
Judge, I think.
Hello? Hello?
Hold on, Jonathan. I think we have okay.
Yeah, we have an issue with audio. Mr. Mauer, we're having problems with audio from your end.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but Mr. Cedillo, we could not hear. Mr. Cedillo?
I can hear him.
All right. So, Mr. Cedillo, do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, to the prosecutor, when are you having this video?
Excuse me?
Hold on, stop, Jonathan. Judge, it's Brittany. She was going to check and see if they had body camera, dashboard camera. And then also she was going to pre-trial with the officer about a statement he made in the video that doesn't jive with the offense report.
All right, Ms. Sparks, do you have a video?
No, Judge, and it's not listed in the police report. I let defense counsel know that his unit is most likely not equipped with dashboard camera, but I told him I would request it if he would like me to, just to make sure.
All right, have you tendered an offer?
Yes, there's been an offer.
All right, Ms. Ferguson on Sedale, I need a plea deadline date for the end of this month, please. All right, your plea deadline date is going to be April 28th. After that, the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements in this case. Do you understand, Mr. Sedale?
Yes, ma'am.
He's on the recall, the first page.
All right, thank you. All right, and your next client, Mr. Sedale, you're excused. We'll see you back on April 28th. Whomever you want to speak to or need to speak to make a decision on whether or not you're going to accept the state's offer, you need to do that before the 28th. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Judge, I've got Elizabeth Yepes and Andre Watson are my other two clients.
All right, where's Ms. Yepes?
She should be logged on, Judge. Everyone has the link.
Ms. Yepes.
It never fails. I get here early. I'm the
Judge, I think she's listed under Elizabeth's A32. She's talking.
Ms. Yepes, you need to unmute.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Yepes, I'm gonna give you the same
I did.
instructions that I just gave Mr. Sedale. If you don't know how to use Zoom, it's been over 2 years. If you cannot put your correct name on the Zoom screen, then what's gonna end up happening is you're gonna have to appear in person. Do you understand?
And she froze. Well, while she's on free, there you go.
Ms. Yepes, do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Everything came out kind of broken up right now before.
Here's my instructions, Mr. Yepes, Ms. Yepes.
Yes,
If you
ma'am.
cannot use Zoom, which I'm very understanding of people with technological difficulties, but we've been doing Zoom for over 2 years now. So if you cannot put your correct name on Zoom, then you're gonna have to start appearing in person in court. So between now and the next setting, you're gonna need to figure out how to do that. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And I guess that maintenance will never have AC for us, and we will never get the moldy carpet taken care of. I think they're trying to end it all for us. All right, what is happening with Ms. Yepes?
Judge, we were set up for a motion to suppress on this case when I was in trial with you. So I think it got reset for today. So we just need a motion to suppress on the traffic stop.
All right, so this motion to suppress, is it dispositive or no?
Yes, ma'am. It will be.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a date for a motion to suppress for Ms. Yepes. And can we put this, I'll send you a note, chat.
What are you clicking on? What are you doing?
All right, we're coming back on April 18th for your motion to suppress.
Judge, that's afternoon, right?
It'll be a little pop-up.
No, that'll be in the morning.
Okay.
Thank you.
At 9?
Yes, at 9 a.m. Ms. Yepes, you need to be in the 187 District Court at 9 a.m. Do you understand? On
Yes,
April
ma'am.
18th.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You're
Thank
excused.
you. Thank you.
All right, and Mr. Watson?
Judge, that's, my anticipation is going to be a trial. We had him interviewed, or your court had him interviewed for a PR bond. The first time the court ordered it, PR bond never did the interview. So then you order pre-trial to do the interview, and I think we were set the same time when I was in trial with you, and I'd like to address this PR bond.
The court reviewed the PR bond request, but your client is not on the Zoom screen.
He is in jail.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. He's not here yet. So if you'll, Ms. Ferguson, if you can chat Mr. Maurer and find out when his client will be brought from the jail, please.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Megan Enriquez, we'll send you to breakout room number 11.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning.
And Mr. Maurer, Ms. Ferguson should be chatting you. Jonathan Ross, who do you have?
Your Honor, I have Mr. Yusbel Sanchez.
Trial Division of Family Violence.
That would be a trial division, Your Honor.
I'm going to send you to number 12.
Yes, ma'am.
Monica Guerrero.
Good morning, Your Honor. I have returned from talking to Mr. Villarreal.
Yes.
He doesn't have the information that Michelle Hayden was supposed to get me for discovery, and Miss Hayden is out today.
Judge, I will look at this as soon as I can. I'm sorry. It's just, I'm trying my best to keep my head above water. If you could just allow me some time to look through it, it's a really thick file to get her what she wants.
Well, you know, they say when you're swimming, you're supposed to put up one finger, then two, then three.
I'm putting both hands up in the air, Judge.
All right, so when do you think you'll be have it ready, or when is Miss Hayden going to be back?
She's out for the rest of the week, but if I have to, I will get it done by Friday.
No, I mean, we can recall this in 2 weeks, Miss Guerrero. Are you
That's
okay
fine.
with the 2-week reset?
That's great, Judge.
That definitely works for me.
Okay. Miss Ferguson, on Miss Graham, can I have a 2-week reset, please? Or if you could put it at the end of the month, maybe? And what discovery are you all presenting to her?
There's specifically some court orders. It's an interference with child custody, so those are pretty important.
I think they are. All right, so we're going to come back on April 28th.
Yes.
Is that enough time?
I will make enough time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes.
All right. Have fun with your trials today.
All right, thank you. And Ms. Ferguson, if you can make sure that's on the docket as a discovery as it relates to court orders on child custody matters. All right, Andrew Froelich.
There's 2 matters. One, Mr. Mario Medellin. I've texted him. Ryan and I have conferred. We have a plea on that case. We're doing paperwork right now.
Okay, thank you.
Secondly, this is a motion to travel. This is actually Lorraine's case, but she would like the motion to travel for this week for client. It's April 13th through 14th. I've conferred with Michael. He has no objection to it. In fact, it's an agreed order. Just need your signature and I'll take care of the rest.
All right, so what dates are she traveling on?
I would need my notes, but I believe it's April 13th through 18th. It should be on the motion, as a matter of fact.
All right. Is she on probation?
Yes. And it's just the timeliness of it. She needed more time than that to get approved through probation. So she needed to do an order for a motion. Motion's been e-filed this morning. Just want to make sure it's taken care of so she can travel.
And what is she on probation for?
She
Not
did
for a misdemeanor, Judge.
a
sorry?
misdemeanor.
A misdemeanor.
Oh,
That's
okay.
all.
A misdemeanor.
That's all family violence.
All right, is this against the boyfriend?
I'm
No.
sorry. It's just a reply to a regular assault case.
Okay.
That gets the court in indication.
Is the complainant in that case the boyfriend?
Ex-husband.
Ah, okay.
I'll take care of the rest. Thank you, Your Honor. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I'm going to get on.
And Medine is
Medine.
the plea,
That's going to be a
correct?
plea. And I'm going to go back to the office and take care of that. If that's okay with you.
Yes.
That's across the street. So.
All right.
I'll see you on Zoom. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes.
I have Marla Garrison on the docket.
I'm sorry, who do you have?
Marla Garrison.
Yes.
I've conferred with Ryan. I'm asking the court for a recall for next Tuesday. We have it worked out to where restitution will be paid in full, and the state's agreed to dismiss once that's paid. Is that something that the court can accommodate?
Why does your client interrupt? Because she's scheduled for jury trial.
No, I understand. But
So she can enter a plea, and then I will hold off sentencing until the restitution, and I'll reset it for the date of the restitution. And then if she pays the restitution, then we can, the state can request a motion for due trial, and then the court will grant it. If that's the
okay.
to
Okay.
dismiss,
I'll
because
talk
we're
to.
scheduled for jury trial.
I'll talk to Ryan again and make sure we can do that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, is there Andres Cardenas here? Oh, yeah, I'll wait some that information, so I just have to wait to go to the back to print it off. So I just have to print it off. Yes. He did both.
Good morning.
Hello.
Just want to say congratulations. Looks like you're gonna keep on moving, keep on trucking for the.
We'll see.
Yeah, you'll be
You
fine.
know, who knows what may happen.
I'm telling you what's gonna happen.
Oh, well, thank you very much. And how old is your daughter now? Is she like 22 or something?
Gosh, one's 15 and one's 18.
Oh my gosh.
Lily's
Oh, well,
going. Lily's going to UT Austin. She's gonna be going.
Hi, Miguel. I haven't seen you in person in ages. I'm just used to seeing people in squares.
Good.
Yes.
Who was here last week?
Okay.
No, I have Antonio Melendez.
Yes.
It's a trial setting. He's in custody.
But Ryan gave me a call at the end of last week regarding some information but I think he needs to present it to you. And then we'll go from there.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Is that Raymond Martinez?
Yes.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. What's happening?
I know judges use on my calendar to be here, so here I am.
All right, who?
It's Martin Lopez. It's a felon possession.
Yes, he's in the trial one. And so they're gonna bring your client out. I
He's
mean, your
on
client should be
bond.
here for dress
He's here,
trial.
Judge.
Okay,
He's on bond.
all right,
So we're just waiting to see who's the lucky winner.
yes.
Okay, I have a 10:30 contested MTR on the 290th. So if you see me walk out, that's where I went.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, Robert Guyana.
Judge, can I have a minute with my client? William Rivera.
Hearing number 8. Is your client on bond or in custody?
He's on bond.
Where's William Rivera? Ah, there he is. All right, Mr. Rivera, I'm sending you to breakout room number 8. John Distru. You're on mute.
Number 8, Judge.
No, number 8 is for Robert Guyana.
Okay, yeah, I'm waiting. Mr. Smith and I are waiting for an ADA.
All right, and that's criminal trial division. Someone will be there shortly. Just put some patience in your pocket. And if you're wearing a suit coat and Mr. Smith is wearing a suit coat, I know for a fact there's always a hidden pocket inside the jacket, so there's extra patience there.
You got it. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, is there Josue Carvajal?
Judge, I just sent you a chat.
James Myrick?
Yes, Judge, I'm here. I'm sorry I was a little late. I had an emergency car trouble earlier this morning. I'm here on Jesus Perez in custody. It should be civil trial division, credit card abuse case.
All right, John Distru, I'm going to send you back to Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Judge.
Two. James Myrick.
Yes, again, I'm here for Jesus
Yes, I need to see
Perez.
your video.
Oh, I'm not able to turn that on
Is there a reason why?
because I'm driving.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna have you on Zoom driving.
Okay, I'll park in about 10 minutes when I get off the highway.
Oh my gosh, do you know how dangerous that is to be Zooming and on the highway? All right, William Troy.
Yes, ma'am. I conferred with the state and I have not been able to reach my client for some time. I did speak with her early on in this case, but I do not have good contact information for her at this time.
All right, just one moment. Could I have an attorney for the state on Flopta, please? Yes, she's not present.
Okay.
Court is calling 2022 CR 1398, State of Texas versus Amber Nicole Flopta. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ryan Grimmer for the state of Texas.
For the defense?
William Troy for the defense.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 9:59 a.m. Any objections to us proceeding by Zoom, Mr. Troy?
No, ma'am.
And the court will note for the record that defense attorney William Troy is by Zoom. The state is in the courtroom. Mr. Troy, do you have any contact with Miss Amber Nicole Flopta?
Not recently, Judge.
Have you had any contact with her today?
No, ma'am.
Right. For the record, she's not on the Zoom screen. Deputy Laura, could you call for Amber Nicole Flopta? She's not in the home. And for the record, the deputy has informed the court that Miss Amber Nicole Flopta is not in the hallway and she has been requested. Also, she is not in the courtroom. State?
Yes, Judge. State would ask the court to move to have her bond forfeited and ask for her to be remanded and a warrant to be issued.
Defense?
I have nothing to add, Judge.
All right, the state's motion will be granted. The court will issue a bond forfeiture and remand her without bond. Mr. Troy, if you're able to get in contact with your client and she presents herself in person or on Zoom within the week, the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. You're excused. And Brenna, I turn to you. I found it. Sure. Hello, Miguel.
Judge, may Ryan and I approach?
Yes. On which case?
This is Antonio Melendez.
I believe it's from 20.
It's Judge, I think from the state's perspective, I did make Mr. Hernandez aware of something last week in reviewing the case. There is some blood evidence that was sent to DPS that that I didn't have the results of. I followed up with DPS and found out that it was still pending. I put a rush on it. I talked to a supervisor up there. However, I don't have it in my hand today. They told me they should get it to me within a month, that it's in the final stages of whatever their process is. However, it is a situation where I became aware of it last week. I've made numerous calls up to DPS, talked to supervisors, and they're telling me I should have it within a month, but I don't have it today.
So I'm assuming that's related to that.
Yes. It is, Judge. Both cases are out of the same incident, but yes, it's related to both cases.
All right, and is your client in custody?
He is, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I'm gonna need an interpreter. And this is going to be recalled then for July 5th
July.
for trial.
Okay, understood, Judge.
And there will be no further resets.
Yes, Judge.
But before you leave, we need to put this on the record with the client.
Yes, Judge. Thank you.
And Ms. Ferguson, if you'll call an interpreter, please.
Yes, ma'am, I'm doing that right now.
Yeah, they're like in negotiations. Maybe just consider design, or you can sit with national. Yeah, so you can see the line on this, see how they do what they do.
¿En el medio? Aquí en el medio. Ahí.
This is Mr.
Melendez.
Oh, we're just waiting for an interpreter.
Okay. Necesito los segundos, tío, porque vamos a estar esperando la interpretación.
All right, Mr. Maurer,
Yes,
Mr.
Your
Watson
Honor.
just logged on.
Judge, let me get Ryan up here for our long involved PR bond hearing,
Okay.
in case he opposes. We're just, they just have.
Gotcha. All right, he's not on the screen. They have
They
an
have a
empty
spot.
chair. And see, I don't see that until the video is turned on. I just saw Watson, so I was like, wow, he's gonna be here. You know what, note that, oh no, this is what they mean when they say, well, no, they say best laid plans. I think that's how it goes. I remember the days when you would plan your day out, you're like, I have to be in 4 places, so I'll be here at 9, take care of that, then go here by 10. We were on the roll the first 2, and then.
And so I actually got to my office, I'm like, oh, I'll go now, I'll be at the front of the line. And then, of course, this happens.
Andrew Crowley. Andrew Crowley. Andrew Froelich. Well, I'm assuming he can't hear.
Judge, this is Andrew Freilich.
Oh, just a moment. Yes,
You call my name.
yes, what is, you're on the screen, so I called your name.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to go over Mr. Medellin's paperwork with him on the phone, but he's not answering because I think you gave him specific instructions, which scared him. Can I get a breakout with him to go over the paperwork?
Yes.
I'm right here. I don't know if you can hear me.
All right, I'll see you to breakout room number 1.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes. Much for logging on early.
But Robert, the court appreciates you logging in early.
It's like here.
Because you can. Thank you.
Judge, I just wanted to ask on Christopher Diaz, the prosecutor submitted the motion to dismiss and the court signed it.
I don't, let me check to see if I've seen.
I just didn't know if you want me to, if it's okay to release him or if you want me to wait.
That's okay. All right, I don't have it. Did they do it electronically?
Did you submit it electronically?
Yes, Judge signed it.
Oh, well, I'm
Oh, there you
quick
go.
then.
Excuse, Judge?
Yes.
Okay.
Brenda, I'm quicker than I thought. So I was like, oh.
I think she did.
Well, yeah, no, because I haven't received anything. Brenda, I pride myself on my mind being a steel trap.
Judge. I have a copy of it. You did sign. I have a copy.
Oh.
It's just you were so good at multitasking, you didn't even realize.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Look how he covers for me. I appreciate that. All right, then, Mr. Diaz is excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Yes.
It's not really about the case where you said you suggested we enter into an agreement and then we'll do a motion for new trial. I mean, I've never done that before, but my thoughts are I'll just do the motions. They were in the other spot that essentially the state agrees that if upfront restitution is paid, the state will not impose motion for new trial.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, and bring your cases, Diaz.
Diaz was on 7. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lieutenant Radar 6806. Lieutenant Radar 6806.
Yeah, it's like beautiful, right?
Is it a picture on the camera?
Yay. There were slim pickings today too.
That wasn't. Just a look at the back.
I was wondering if anybody from Family Violence is available. I'm still waiting in room 10.
All right, Jess, give us a moment. We only have one family violence prosecutor today. So he is multitasking and he's doing a fantastic job of multitasking. So Mr. Ambrosino, if you'll go back in the breakout room, a family violence prosecutor will be there.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, and while you're there, contemplate what the Steelers can do to have a better season.
They need to draft Malik Willis. That's what they need to do.
And I'll contemplate what the Saints can do and what the LSU Tigers can do better.
Yeah, the Saints are based in the same boat. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Megan Enriquez.
Hey, Judge, can I get a breakout room with John's client, Miss Rosas? She's in custody.
All right, let me see what breakout room you were in. You're in 11. And Mr. Rosas, go to 11, please. And Mr. Maurer, your client, Mr. Watson, is here. Yeah.
I'm right over the court is Judge.
All right, thank you. Let me just grab this file.
Anybody like to see solutions?
I know the state is doing some paperwork. Let's get it. All right, thank you.
I think you could help us facilitate something. Mr. Martinez, he's on the trial lineup. He has a case here and a misdemeanor court case. We made an agreement where if he pleads to the misdemeanor, we'll move up our case, but he's not set down in 15.
Who's 15?
I think it's.
This part. I don't know.
And if I can't run over there, Judge Victoria's on Zoom. I'm sure she could zoom in at some point today.
Let me. You can probably get that done. Debbie, could I go on mute, please?
Judge George Sharman, I apologize for being late.
Who's speaking?
George Sharman, I apologize for being late.
All right, just give me a moment, Mr. Sherman, please. Oh, yes, we're gonna do the interpreter first. Mr. Maurer? Mr. Robert Maurer, we're gonna take this up briefly with the interpreter and then we'll take up
Yes,
your
ma'am.
next.
I'll be here.
All right, thank you.
All right, Judge, were you talking?
Everyone, if you could be silent, we're taking up a plea, well, not a plea. We're taking up a matter with an interpreter, so if you could just be quiet for a moment, please. All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 7275 and 2020 CR 7274, State of Texas versus Antonio Lucio Melendez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ryan Grumer for the state of Texas.
Miguel Hernandez for the respondent, for the defendant.
And are you Antonio Melendez?
Yes.
All right, we have an interpreter in the courtroom. If the interpreter could raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and from Spanish into English, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand if you could state your name for the record.
Arlene Abrams, license number 2081.
All right, we're here for a jury trial. State, are you ready to proceed?
Judge, I made the court aware previously, but let me make you aware for the record. In our preparation for this case, we came across some blood evidence that had been recovered from Mr. Melendez's vehicle. That evidence was submitted up to the DPS laboratory in Austin. I didn't have the results of that. In looking into that in the previous week, last week, I found out that that has not fully been tested and reviewed for us. It is in the process of being tested, and they told us it should be available within 30 days. I've talked to a supervisor up there to get it expedited, but nonetheless, I do not have it in hand today. And for that reason, Judge, I made Mr. Hernandez available, or I made him aware of that. And at this point, Judge, we'd ask for a continuance in order to have the results of that done for the defense and for the state.
And defense.
Well, Your Honor, I've spoken to my client and he understands that this is something that we were not aware of. And so I guess we'd have to wait until we get back to see how that's going to affect our case.
All right, do you have any objection to the state's continuance?
I would object to it, Your Honor, but I understand that what the situation is.
All right, do you want, then we can still proceed to trial. If there's no blood evidence, then there's no blood evidence.
Your Honor, my client says he'd like to wait until we get some results.
So are you objecting
So
to
we
this?
would withdraw our objections.
All right, so no objections to the state's motion for continuance?
Yes, Your
All right, then your jury trial will be scheduled for July 5th at 9 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They would be excused.
Yes. Do you need the interpreter anymore, Mr. Hernandez? I know you speak Spanish.
No,
All right, thank you.
May I approach her?
Yes.
Or you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Hernandez.
Yes, sir.
Is your client a citizen or no?
No, Your Honor.
And you didn't need an immigration attorney for that?
Oh, I've already talked to one, but he knows he's been deported several times, Your Honor. He's aware of what's gonna happen. I mean, I think he's been deported twice. In fact, I talked to the attorney that represented him the last time he got deported, early on in the conversation. And I'm in communication with the Mexican consulate.
All right, thank you.
I'm sorry, I was supposed to complete it before.
Oh, that's
showing it to
okay.
you.
No, I figured maybe they hadn't given you.
Thank you so much, Judge. Maybe excuse.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Robert, are you ready on Mr. Watson?
Judge, I am ready to proceed.
All right, the court, is the state ready?
We are, Judge.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 6431, State of Texas versus Andrea Watson. Going to have parties announced for the record for the state,
Ryan Brewer for the state of Texas.
for the defense.
Robert Mauer for defendant, Your Honor.
All right, and are you Mr. Watson? Can you unmute for me, please?
Yes, I am.
All right, Mr. Watson, your attorney is present in the courtroom and so is the state, but you're by Zoom. Do you have any objection to being by Zoom?
No.
Defense, any objection?
No, Your Honor.
State, any objection?
None from the state.
All right, defense, you're here. You had requested a hearing on a motion for a PR bond. Is that correct?
That's correct, Judge. And we'd actually been here twice. The first time PR had failed to interview him, and then I think the court followed up with PR and had him interviewed. So I'd ask the court to grant him a PR bond. He's unable to make bond for all of his cases. His family lives in Ohio and doesn't have the resources for him to make bond.
Judge State would oppose the PR bond. Mr. Watson is on bond for burglary of a habitation as well as misdemeanor terrorism threat, we believe based on the nature of the charges.
What? A misdemeanor.
Quiet. Be quiet. Stop talking.
Based on the nature of the charges that a PR bond is not appropriate.
All right, and what I have for Mr. Watson, I have the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Is this the same Mr. Watson?
Judge, all I'm aware of is it should be a burglary.
This is
It's Andre Watson.
Andre.
Yes, not Andre. Andre Watson.
Sorry, Judge.
Thank you.
She always says Andre.
Yeah, I think there's another defendant of the name Andrea Watson.
Yes.
This is Andre Watson. This is a burglary.
All right, thank you.
Then nonetheless, still, the burglary of a habitation, which is the charge that he's indicted on, is such that I don't believe a PR bond is appropriate.
All right, and so state you were mentioning you had the burglary of a habitation and what misdemeanor case?
He did not. The judge, that was the Andrea Watson. That's the other name. So he has a burglary of a habitation is his only pending case in front of this court. Judge, we would oppose based on that charge.
Judge, this is the only case he had. There were some issues about whether or not there were some psychiatric issues related to this. Mr. Watson is confident. He is unable to afford to make bond. And I think I haven't seen the interview from PR Bond to see what their assessment was. But I would think he would be a good candidate for a PR bond.
All right, just one moment. To the clerks, could you pull a copy of the PR bond interview for me, please? Thank you. All right, and have you received a copy of the?
I have not, Judge.
Have you received?
I have not, Judge.
We take a brief recess and take a look at it.
Yes. Oh, yes, please. Thank you. All right, they're gonna give a copy of the PR bond to your attorney, Mr. Watson, so just give us a moment.
I'll follow you.
All right, thank you. Yes.
Good morning, Judge. I'm here. I'm Mr. Alberto Trevino for trial, Judge.
All right, we're gonna take that up. Just have a seat, and if you can return at 11.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You wanted to come back at 11?
Yes. Have you spoken with the state?
Many times before.
Okay, all right, yes. We will put you, yeah, I believe you're number one.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes.
Which, Mr. Belichick's on one of the trial cases for this morning. I think we've come to an agreement. I'm working on paperwork. It's Tony Schiaretti. I just letting the court know that we're working on paperwork on it.
All right, thank you.
Some other courts that come like that.
Yes. All right, George Sherman, is your
Yes,
client criminal trial division or family violence?
This is on the regular docket, not family violence.
All right,
And we're waiting for discovery on that case, the laboratory work.
all right, let me send you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Roberto Ambrosino.
Yes, Judge. I'm ready on Ruby Caceres. I want to say that we had actually entered an admission of true back a year ago.
Received you say Ruby who? I'm sorry.
Ruby Caceres. It's an MTR. And you had her evaluated for competency. They found her incompetent. She went away to SASH and then came back competent. That was about a year ago.
All right, so you're ready to proceed?
We are. I believe we have an agreement if you decide.
All right, and I do see that she pled true to 16 FF. Is that what you have?
Yes.
All right, who's the prosecutor who's working with you on this?
Mr. Villarreal.
Okay, Michael, you're just everywhere.
Do you want me to go get her out of the breakout room or can you do that? Or?
Yes, I think you missed my announcement where I said do not leave anyone in the breakout room.
Oh, I think I did. Let me go get her real quick.
Thank you. So I want to say previously she pled true to 16 FF.
Okay, that was what I didn't understand. She's already pled.
Yes. James Meyer, who do you have?
Me. Unmute. Here, I'm in my office. I'm in my office. Jesus Perez, trial division.
All right, Mr. Meyer. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4.
Thank you.
And everyone else, just be patient. All right, Michael, are you ready? Just when you sit down, right?
I'll get my steps in, Judge.
All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 7910, State of Texas versus Ruby Caceres. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Michael Villarreal for the state.
For the defense?
Roberto Ambrosino.
And Ms. Caceres, can you unmute yourself, please?
Yes,
Are you Ms. Caceres?
yes, I am.
We're proceeding by video due to the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
None from the state.
Any objection from the defense?
No objection.
Ms. Caceres, do you have any objections with us proceeding by video?
No.
The court will note for the record that on January 13, 2021, the defendant entered a plea to 16 FF of true. The court found 16 FF true. And then between the time of that plea of true and now, the defendant was deemed incompetent, but she was not deemed to be incompetent when she pled true to 16 FF. Is that true, Mr. Ambrosino?
Yes, Your Honor.
So now we're proceeding with the court's decision on the defendant's plea of 16 FF. Is there an agreement between the state and the defense?
There is.
And what is the agreement?
Your Honor, the agreement is in line with probation's recommendation, which is to deny the motion, continue on probation to include mixed supervision, the defendant take medications as prescribed, monthly drug tests, and outpatient treatment with lifetime recovery.
Is that the agreement, Mr. Ambrosino?
Yes, Judge, with the exception of the drug treatment. Ms. Casares has been in custody for about a year on the competency issue. I don't believe that's necessary at this point. Maybe the court can hold it in abeyance and see if she, you know,
You mean the
releases-
drug testing?
No, not the testing, the outpatient treatment at lifetime recovery. I don't know that that's necessary at this point. At the time they took the plea, Ms. Casares was not doing well. Her mental state was not in a good place at all. I've been in contact with her throughout the process. She called me several times when she was at SASH, and we talked multiple times over the years, and she's doing much, much better than she was then.
All right. And just so the record is clear, she has been declared competent, is that correct?
She has been.
All right, this is the court's concern, and Ms. Casares, I represented clients with mental health issues and done a lot of work with people who have mental health issues. My concern is at this point in time, even though the agreement is for you to be continued, I don't know if you have a case manager or if you're gonna have a case manager. I'm aware of the mixed supervision, but I just think that outpatient treatment with lifetime recovery would be just another layer to make sure that everything is going well. And it's another layer for someone for you to speak to if there are issues that come up. You understand, Ms. Casares?
Yes.
So I'm not trying to overburden you with programs. It's just me trying to make sure that you have the tools that you need so you can be successful. What I've discovered is people who have mental health issues, they do well. They're on their medication at the jail or on their medication at the state hospital. Then they are released, and either there are issues with their medication because they have side effects and they don't tell anyone and they just stop using, or sometimes they end up feeling better and they're feeling great and they're like, why am I taking these medications? I have a similar issue, not on the same level as yours, but my issue is with allergy medications. I'm supposed to take them every day. After I start feeling well, I stop taking them, and then I end up with an ear infection and a sinus infection. So I just want to make sure that you have a case manager. Mr. Ambrosino, once she is out and about for a while and mixed supervision is going well, the court will probably reconsider the outpatient treatment with lifetime recovery, but I just want to make sure that she has the tools she needs. So you understand, Ms. Casares?
Yes.
All right, so what we're going to do, I'll deny the motion, alternate amend conditions to include mixed supervision, monthly UAs, and outpatient treatment with lifetime recovery. Ms. Casares, the state wants me to order you to be sure to take your medications. I really do not have any control over whether you take your medications or not, but what I can tell you, what ends up happening is if you don't take your medications, and if things go haywire on this motion on your probation and you end up having a motion to revoke filed against you and you're incompetent, what they'll do, they'll send you to the state hospital and may or may not force you to take your medications. You understand?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Casares, good luck to you. I'm going to send you to a breakout room. Probation is going to go over conditions with you, and we will go from there.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Mr. Ambrosino, you can go to the breakout room with your client, or either you can be excused.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to send you all to breakout room number 2. And probation, you can go to number 2.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, have you all had a chance to review Andre Watson?
We have, Judge, we're ready.
Yes, Judge.
All right, we're going to go on back on the record. In 2021 CR 8488, State of Texas versus Andre Watson. The court is in receipt of the PR bond application. State and defense, have you had a chance to review that?
Defense has, Judge.
State has a withdrawal, Judge.
And Mr. Maurer, are you ready to proceed, or do you need a continuance?
No, I'm ready, Judge.
All right, so the court then will hear both parties' argument after you've received the PR bond report, which you've received.
Yes, so Judge, I reviewed the PR bond report my client, I guess, based upon the way they do their scoring system, is scored as moderate. And I think he would be considered low moderate, except he had 2 prior misdemeanor convictions. He had, I think, a prior felony arrest that was dismissed. Other than that, I think this is his only serious involvement with the law. He does have a place to stay here in San Antonio. And I think there are means by which the court could monitor his whereabouts if the court granted a PR bond. He's been incarcerated for some time. I think I'm either the second or third lawyer on the case. But I do think he is a good risk for a PR bond with some sort of monitoring system. And ask the court grant him one.
All right, State.
Yes, Judge. Judge, the state has the same recommendation to the court that you deny his application for a PR bond. He is in the, like Mr. Maurer said, the low moderate scale, but he does have some criminal history. We see that out of county, he has an assault. He has a petty theft and some other misdemeanor looking cases. And then here in Bexar County, he has a prior assault family, as well as some cases that have been dismissed. But I think the majority of the reason is he is charged with a serious offense. In this particular case, it's a burglary of a habitation. And for those reasons, as well as the mental health concerns that the court would have if he was on bond, we would ask you to deny the PR one.
All right, so Mr. Watson, the court is reviewing your PR bond application. And I just want to tell you the court's concerns, okay? Number one, your references, they're not able to get in touch with your references. So that's them trying to contact your father and contact your mother. Then we do have the issues of the nature of this offense, which is a burglary of habitation force. I don't take any of that to be true because I haven't received any facts on the burglary of habitation force. But your criminal history, there is an assault, bodily injury family here in Bexar County. And out of county, there is another assault. And there is a criminal damaging or endangering from Ohio. I don't know what that charge is because I don't believe we have a similar charge here in Bexar County. I'll have to look up to see if we do. So that doesn't sound good. So, and also the notes that were put in here, they say that you declined mental substance abuse assistance. So for those reasons, the court is going to deny your motion for a PR bond. Defense, if you want to file a motion at some point in time for maybe a bond reduction, the court will consider that.
Judge, I think I have one on file.
I don't know if you all had a chance to confer.
If we're going to do that, Judge, what I'd like to do is submit to the court maybe a police report from this incident. If you want to give me a second, I can do that, Judge. Just one, at least one exhibit.
All right, thank you.
And let me check with the office and make sure we have one on file, but I think this is not the first time we've been here. Can you give me a minute, Judge?
Oh, yes. All right. Robert Guyona.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, Joe Ray was out of the office, and Brittany has been kind enough to cover. We've arranged to do a plea in county
Just one
court.
moment. If we're going to have music on our cell phones, could we have music that sounds good? So, I'm like, what song was that, Mr. Chavez?
I don't know. It was an advertisement on YouTube.
Okay. All right, so William Rivera.
Judge, there'll be a plea in County Court 15 on misdemeanor. In exchange, they will dismiss the felony. The misdemeanor is set for Thursday morning.
Well, you can actually do that plea today in County Court 15 at 10:30. She's available now. And I can give you the Zoom link.
That's fine by me. I guess Mr. Rivera is on.
Yes, Mr. Rivera is here.
Yeah,
Ms.
there he is.
Ferguson, can you obtain the Zoom link from County Court at Law number 15 for Mr. Rivera? And there's also a Zoom link that needs to be given to Ray Martinez for them to enter a plea. So Ms. Ferguson is going to send that to you and your client, and that can be accomplished today. Thank you.
Judge, may we be excused from here and we'll just get the Zoom link and,
Yes, and you'll need to be back at 1:30. Of course, if you completed everything, then you won't need to return.
okay, so if we complete the plea, we don't have to return at 1:30.
No, just let the prosecutor know that it's been done and they'll take care of the felony case.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And just stay on till Ms. Ferguson sends you the link. Ms. Enriquez?
Yes, Your Honor. I was able to confer with Brittany Sparks on Ms. Rosas's case. She is waiting to hear back from the complainant regarding restitution. So we just need a short reset if possible for her to confirm that the restitution gets paid.
Can you say it's Wednesday Rosas?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Has that case been indicted?
No, Judge, it was a pre-indictment setting, and we were able to bring her over because we think we can reach a resolution before even having to address bond issues or anything like that.
All right, let me see where she is on the docket. Brittany, do you see her on the docket?
I don't see her, Judge.
Is she on today's docket?
It was set for a pre-indictment setting, and when our office had tried to reach out to Norma to see if we were having it, Norma said that the court wasn't doing pre-indictment settings, but John requested if she could still be brought over so we could talk to a court prosecutor, potentially about a PR bond, but I think that it can be resolved without even having to address the PR bond.
All right, thank you. If you want to speak with Ms. Ferguson about when to put her next on the docket, you can.
That'd be wonderful. Thank you, Judge. Have a great day.
Thank you, you too. Norma, Ms. Rosas can be excused. Jonathan Ross?
Yes, Your Honor. Sorry, I'm multitasking. I'm moving this camera around just a bit. We touched base with the state on Mr. Yusbel Sanchez. That is, they're substituting on that case. It's right now, it's Joe Ray's case. It's got quite a lot of discovery, and I think some of that's coming in. They're still touching base with some of the witnesses and trying to get in contact with some of the witnesses on that, Your Honor. So that's where we are on there right now. I can also drop Joe Ray a line and follow up with him off the docket.
All right, so this was a case that was transferred from the 227, and it appears that nothing has really happened. So how much discovery are we speaking of?
I believe each of the charges, that the initial police reports, well over 100 pages. There's a lot of video, a lot of photos. I think the discovery is mostly in, but they do have witnesses that are
All right, Ms.
out of the
Ferguson,
country.
you spell Sanchez. Can you recall this in 30 days? And at that time, the state will be prepared to make an offer. And if you can give me a date in the chat box, please. All right, we're going to come back on May 16th.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. No more Mr. Sanchez can go back. Sure, just give me one moment. My computer is doing some funny things on the screen today. Yes.
So Judge, there's not a motion to release bond on file. I'm not sure if previous lawyers have filed one. I can get one filed. But I also talked to Ryan, and maybe we can resolve the issue with an expedited trial setting. I think it's an old case. We have all the discovery complete.
Judge, we don't have a huge objection to that. I mean, maybe you can just give us a couple of weeks, but I think we can get ready on the case. It's not, it doesn't have a lot of moving pieces.
All right. We can either set this for the week of April 18th, or either we can do it for the following week.
I'm set for trial with you on Tuesday, and I should be going. And I think I'm starting the following Tuesday.
Okay.
Maybe like the first week in May. You have some.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can we have a trial setting for Mr. Watson, please? And then, Mr. Mauer, if you want to have that motion, if you want to file that motion sometime this week, Stacey, would you have any objection to being untimely if we were to hear his
I don't have
motion?
a problem with that. Just I download it. I do it today if you want to. I mean, whatever you think. I don't have any objection on notice.
All right, so just whenever you file.
Okay,
it, we'll hear it.
I'll try to get him filed today, Judge.
All right, his jury trial date is then going to be May 16th. Is that a good date for you, Mr. Allen?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Watson, we're going to be here on May 16th for your jury trial. Do you have any questions, Mr. Watson?
Yes, I thought that we was already, that the last time we talked, that was it. Like, that was the jury that you said, they gave me an offer. They said, and I never got to talk. That was 2 months ago. I've been here a year, and everything that, it's been 8 or 9 years. I haven't even been in Ohio in 20 years.
All right, so here's the thing, Mr. Watson. First, number one, this case originally came to this court in 2021.
Yes.
Now, the reason why you haven't had a jury trial is because juries have been suspended. The key thing that you need if you're going to have a jury trial is a jury.
Yes.
And juries were suspended. So there are other people who are ahead of you in line for a jury trial. In
Yes,
this
ma'am.
court, before I have the defense and the state go to the jury trial, I like to make sure that everybody has all their discovery, because I don't think you want your attorney going to trial without discovery, correct?
True.
All right, so this is what I can tell you. At some point, this case, you had a different attorney. On October 12, 2021, it was recalled because an attorney was appointed. And then there was a motion to withdraw file, and you ended up with Mr. Mauer as your attorney. And that was on January 14th. So then this was recalled for February 16th because your attorney was out of county handling other cases. Because as you can imagine, defense attorneys have more than one client. So if your attorney is out of county on another case, which that setting took precedent of this one, because I'm sure that was a jury trial, because everybody's starting on jury trials, we could not go, right?
Yes.
So then what ends up happening is when it's recalled for your attorney to come back in county after he's finished with his out of county case, that was for me to make sure that your attorney had all the discovery. And in this court, other courts don't do it, but I do it. I require that the state make an offer. Whether you accept that offer or not, that's completely up to you. So I required that the state give your attorney an offer, but of course, your attorney can do nothing with an offer if they haven't received all the discovery. So I have to make sure they have all the discovery so your attorney can negotiate. So then what ended up happening is on February 24th, we were recalled back on February 28th for a PR bond application update. They did not complete your PR bond application, which the court requested that be done so I can see what your history is and see if they make contact so I'll know where you'll be staying if I were to grant the PR bond. So that's why we're here today for a PR bond.
Yes.
So then we're not done. So then what ends up happening between now and when we did the PR bond, your attorney was actually in a jury trial. Again, you know, attorneys are great, but guess what? They can't be in 2 jury trials at one time. So your attorney was in a jury trial, so we couldn't do your jury trial because he was somewhere else in the jury trial. And actually, I think that jury trial was with this court.
Yes.
So then we are here today for your PR bond, and the court has reviewed your PR bond request, and your PR bond request is denied. Now, your attorney is going to file a motion to consider maybe a bond reduction. The state is waiving notice of that. So your bond reduction hearing will take place this week. I will be here to hear that. And there are already trials set. Your defense attorney is already scheduled for a trial in another court that's going to go. It would make no sense for me to put you on for next week for a jury trial when he's already going to be in here on another jury trial. Again, you can't do 2 jury trials at once. So the earliest jury trial setting we can have for you is May 16th. But between now and then, your attorney is going to file a motion for a bond reduction. Do you understand? So that is what has been happening with your case. So I know it may seem that nothing's been happening, but it has been. And before the pandemic hit, this court was in a jury trial every week, because if you want a jury trial, we will make sure that you have a jury trial, but make sure that your due process rights are valued by it. Understand?
Yes.
All right.
So the only reason why I'm getting denied is because of previous things that I haven't been in any trouble for 8 years. Anything.
Mr. Watson, let me explain something to you. And I've been a defense attorney and a prosecutor. You know what I always have to explain to my clients? Your criminal history is like your financial history.
All right.
You say, I've been paying my bills great for an entire, 3 years. Why are you guys looking at my bankruptcy? All right, Mr. Watson, we'll see you on May 16th.
All right.
And probably sooner than that, because your attorney's going to file that motion. He's going to let the coordinator know. All right.
All right.
Thank you so much for your patience, Mr. Watson. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Your Honor, have a great day.
Thank you, you too. It's a beautiful day.
Can I reconsider my motion to withdraw that I withdrew?
Yes, yeah. All right, so we'll be back on him on May 16th, but whenever you file that, just let Ms. Ferguson know.
I sent my office a notice right now. Norma's checking. For some reason, Michelle thought I had 3 cases set with you all on Tuesday, and I only show 1. I'm making sure I'm not going to run into buzzsaw Raymond.
All right, thank you.
May I approach, Your Honor, when you have time?
Yes, just give me a moment. Sure. All right, and everyone, just give me a moment. I'm just trying to take care of the inmates who are on the Zoom screen. George Sherman, James Lawrence.
Judge, we conferred. She gave me a plea bargain agreement. We're not ready to accept it. I'm going to have a order for you today to sign to give us the laboratory diskettes.
All right. Did you file that motion today?
Believe that I don't know if it's been accepted, but it's been filed.
To the clerks, do you have a motion on James Lawrence that's been filed by Mr. Sherman? So you say an offer has been tendered, Mr. Sherman?
It has, Judge.
All right, and I show here in my notes that on March 9th, we were called today because the blood discovery request to be completed. So has that been completed?
No, ma'am, it has not. And I was going to give you an order today.
No, I've already signed an order for blood discovery. So what
Well,
order are you asking?
I'll go by the window, Judge. I have not received, I looked on the evidence today on the deal and it didn't say additional discovery available. You know, it says that when the diskettes are there and it didn't say that. So I don't have it, but I'll go by and check again.
All right, to the clerks, could you see if there's an order for Mr. Sherman, please, on James Lawrence?
I'm looking, Judge.
John Distrud. John Distrud.
Hi, good morning, Judge. I'm here with Mr. Smith. Paul Smith is representing Mr. Hamilton on the first degree. Where's Mr. Smith?
Yeah, Paul Smith is not here.
Okay, I've got, and so I have all the other cases. I think Mr. Smith wants a trial on his case.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you see if you can get Mr. Smith back, please? Rusty Guyer, who do you have?
Judah Rosales, Your Honor, we're back because of, well, it was going to be a dismissal. However, they wanted him to sign a lifetime restraining order, and there was language in there which was that he could never own a firearm nor have a permission to own a firearm.
So we're here over Second Amendment rights?
Yes, I guess so.
Okay. Where's your client?
He should be logged on, Your Honor.
Mr. Judah Rosales? He's not here.
I just spoke with him. So perhaps he was trying to use the link from yesterday. I'm not certain. I did not send him the link for today.
All right, as soon as he's on, we'll take that matter up.
Thank you. I'll get him online.
Thank you. All right, John Distrud, Mr. Smith will be back shortly. All right, Mr. Sherman, nothing's been filed on your case. It's nowhere pending or anywhere.
Well, I'll bring you an order today.
Here you go. All right, Mr. Lawrence, you'll need to come back at 2 p.m. So we'll await your order. Mr. Sherman, you need to zoom back in at 2 p.m.
Will you be here, Judge?
Yes.
To sign the order?
I'm here every day till 5 p.m., sometimes 5:30. Maybe
Okay,
6.
so you want
How
me
late
to,
were we here? We were here till like 6 yesterday.
you want me to bring you the order at 2 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay, it'll be there, Judge. You want my client to come back at 2 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Mr. Medellin, I'm sorry, Mario Medellin.
Judge, that's my case.
All right, so Mr. Medellin, can you unmute?
There we go. I'm unmuted, Your Honor.
All right, I have a few questions for you. And I just want you to answer these questions to me, but I want you to listen to my questions very carefully, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Number one, do you have diabetes?
No, ma'am, I don't.
All right, so are you allowed to eat in a courtroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you're saying that you can eat in a courtroom?
I'm sorry?
If you were physically in the courtroom, would you be allowed to be eating in the courtroom?
No, ma'am.
All right, so you did that on Zoom. Number two, are you allowed to be laying down in a courtroom?
No, ma'am.
So you did that on Zoom. Number three, are you allowed to be vaping in a courtroom?
No, ma'am.
All right, so here's the thing. 187 District Court is located at 300 De La Rosa. It's on the 4th floor. You need to be here. Get thee to the courtroom. Your Zoom privileges are permanently revoked. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. So I need to be there when right now?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, your client will be in the courtroom, Mr. Froelich.
Okay, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Do you want me in the courtroom as well, Your Honor? It's up to you.
It's a plea, so you can be by Zoom.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, and Mr. Lawrence, we'll see you back at 2 p.m.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Mr. Hamilton, we're just waiting for your attorney. Just give us a moment. Mr. Edmonds.
Judge, we are ready to proceed on the MTR whenever the court is. The court should have the paperwork.
All right, let me check to see if I have that paperwork. All right, and you are Carlos Herrera, and then after this, I'll take the others. All right, who are the prosecutors on Carlos Herrera?
All
right, thank you. All right, the court is calling 2017 CR 7885 State of Texas versus Carlos Manuel Herrera. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Michael Villarreal for the state.
For the defense?
Derek Emmons from Mr. Herrera.
All right, Mr. Herrera, could you unmute for me, please? Are you Carlos Herrera?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No objection.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Herrera, did you sign a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision, and states motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke probation. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Carlos Manuel Herrera Jr. who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2017 CR 7885 for the offense of assault family house member impeding breath circulation on July 15, 2019 for a term of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State? Do you wanna?
Violation condition number 41, on or about the 4th day of June 2020 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Carlos Manuel Guerrero Jr. then and there failed to comply with the rules and regulations of the felony drug court by failing to appear for a court review in violation of condition number 41.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
And the state would waive and abandon the remaining allegations.
Any objections to the state's waiver?
There is not, Judge. No objections.
All right, Mr. Herrera, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 41, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 41?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition 41 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. Agreement to deny the state's motion, extend the defendant's probation for a period of 3 years, a MIC evaluation, 6 months of UA hotline, and a re-referral to the drug court.
Is that the agreement, Mr. Edmonds?
That is my understanding of the agreement, Judge.
Mr. Herrera, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Herrera, I'm not going to place you under oath, but I want to know, why didn't you follow through with felony drug court?
Well, when that pandemic hit, ma'am, it just totally scared me, and I thought it just messed my head up, and it threw me off track. That's all. That's basically it.
All right, do you have any children living with you?
No, ma'am.
If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be? And know that you're going to be drug tested today, because I need to know baseline. So
Yeah,
I'm positive for.
I'm gonna be positive for heroin.
All right, how often are you using?
I'm on methadone now. I recently got on methadone a couple of days ago, and I'm gonna be on methadone now.
Are you going through withdrawals?
Excuse me?
Are you going through any withdrawals right now?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna still have you do a UA today. You need to get that done today. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And it's for us to get a baseline. So you're not gonna be revoked if you test positive today.
Okay, ma'am.
You're telling me you're gonna be positive, so I'm expecting a positive, all right?
Okay, ma'am.
But you need to stop using. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me explain to you about heroin and other drugs. It's not FDA approved, so you know what ends up happening? Somebody just cooking it in their kitchen or cooking it in their garage, rats running around, roaches running around. Maybe they drop some on the floor, they just pick it back up, nobody cares. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I'm gonna deny the motion, extend you for 3 years. Of course, number 41 is true. There's gonna be a MIC evaluation, the UA hotline, a referral to felony drug court, and you're gonna do a UA today.
Okay.
All right, is there anything else you need from the court?
No, ma'am.
All right, Rebecca, I'm also gonna want field visits 3 times per month. And these conditions for you, Mr. Herrera, they're gonna be in place until you're accepted into felony drug court, and you need to be honest with them. If you're honest with them, they'll accept you. It's a very good program, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Mr. Herrera. I'm gonna send you to a breakout room, and probation is gonna go over your conditions with you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Michael.
Mr. Herrera, if you go to breakout room number 1.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. James Seymour?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
I believe this case was set tomorrow. It was reset last week, judicial conference, I believe.
Yes.
And I have to be in person on another case, and I can't do both.
Okay.
Could I have a reset on that? When she sent me the email setting, she says, if there's a conflict, please advise.
Okay. All right. Speak to Ms. Ferguson.
She told me to see you. Is this a mom and dad thing?
All right, Ms. Ferguson. I tell you what, go to the back. If you could go to the back and grab me this file, just get the file.
The
from
file?
courts. Yes.
May I approach?
Yes.
I'm actually here. I don't know if my client's here. It's a case I got appointed to last week on I guess a compliance hearing on Andres Cardenas. But honestly, I've never met him. I don't know if he's in the courtroom or.
No, he's not. He's not been on the Zoom screen.
Okay.
Andres Cardenas.
I called the same in the hallway, but I didn't get a response. And unfortunately, I don't even know what he looks like.
Yeah, just give me one moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I like to do compliance hearings before I issue warrants.
Yes, ma'am.
So just give me a moment. All right, and everyone, just give the court a moment.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, I was running late. I was in different courts. I went by the court this morning. I have Ken Leach on the docket,
Speaking.
Tony Jimenez.
Okay, just give me a moment, Mr. Jimenez. I saw you in the courtroom. Oh, yes, Tom.
Yes, Judge. I'm here for Kenneth Leach.
Okay.
He's in custody, Judge.
Is it criminal provocation of family violence?
It is, I've been conferring with Marcus Sanders. I understand he's not available.
There'll be somebody else available for you. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2.
Yes, Judge.
And I apologize for my lack of time and everything. I was gonna meet a client that you just appointed me to on an appeal upstairs, the video
Okay.
conference, so. I think I got time.
Just a second, I'm waiting for Miss Ferguson to put a date in our system. Well, let me ask you this, how much time are you asking for?
I have a conflict, and Thursday, they might pull more teeth out of me. Friday, I'm free. Monday, I'm
I mean, do
free.
you want it at the end of April? Is that good for you, April 28th?
I think I have a doctor's appointment then, and they take all morning. What's the 28th, Tuesday?
Let me see.
Because I know it's a Tuesday that I have to go to a doctor's appointment. And I'm sorry that has to take precedence.
Oh, no. April 28th is Thursday.
That'll be fine. That'll be fine.
Okay.
We'll go from there. Zoom?
Yes, Miss Ferguson, can you place Eric Avalos on April 28th, please?
I'm gonna need to get a list of what courts are gonna have in person and no Zoom. I guess I'll call the court administration, but I can't do both.
Oh, no, I hear you.
They say that some attorneys could do a phone,
Mhm.
but my phone, not lack of battery.
Yeah.
And,
No problem. So we'll set it for April 28th.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And Michael Villarreal will probably be the person who's on it.
Okay, good. I'll put that in my file.
Oh, thanks.
You want me to take the file back?
Yes, let me just write this down.
Should I give it to Norma?
Oh, yes.
Okay. How you doing?
Oh, doing great.
You're gonna get away for Easter? I think that's coming up.
No, I'll be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I hope you find whatever you're looking for.
Thank you. All right, everyone, just give me a moment, please. Can you put that in? I didn't put that.
There's a bolo for him.
Oh,
And I just found out about this. It was stated that April 4th or 5th,
It says 4.
April 4th. So they have a missing person reward, all that good stuff. And apparently his whereabouts unknown, but at least somebody's concerned and looking for him.
okay, awesome. Let's see what page he's on.
On the recall.
On the recall book.
All right, thank you. Not on my recall.
Oh. The second from the top.
Oh, my bad, sorry. All right, we can unmute. Yes, please. Let me see if I can find his file. To the courts, could I have the file on Andres Cardenas? It's 2020 CR 10768, please.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, for those of you who are waiting for your jury trial, we're gonna start jury selection at 2 p.m., but do not leave because Ms. Ferguson is gonna let you all know what the lineup is. So just be patient.
Judge, may I approach?
Just one moment. Ms. Ferguson, in the chat box, could I have a reset date on Cardenas for a month, please? And we will come back in a month. Just if you are able to get in touch with him before then, he needs to get in touch with probation.
No, definitely. I mean, yeah, like I said, he's listed as missing, so hopefully he turned up safe and we'll figure it out from there.
Yes, we'll be back on May 16th.
May 16th. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, and who asked to approach?
That was me, Your Honor.
Who is me?
Mr. Gonzalez.
Okay, you all have to remember, I can't see your faces.
Yeah, I know you're aware.
All right, yes.
I have Mr. Jones. There was an offer conveyed. It's not going to be accepted, but I'm going to be filing a motion to suppress.
All right, is this going to be a dispositive motion?
Yes, it would be, Your Honor, if it is in fact granted in our favor.
So if it's not granted, it's going to be a jury trial?
Correct.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Kenneth Jones, can I have a plea deadline date in 30 days, please? And can you make it the plea deadline date and the jury trial date, please? And Mr. Jones, your motion to suppress will be carried with trial.
I'll explain that to him, Judge.
So just give me a moment while Ms. Ferguson gives me the trial date. Oh, you have a question, Mr. Jones?
I'll speak with you about it shortly, Mr. Jones, okay?
Okay, Judge, it's in the chat.
Thank you. All right, we're going to come back on May 31st. May 31st will be your plea deadline date and your jury trial date. Do you understand, Mr. Jones? You need to unmute.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Jones, you will be brought over dressed for trial on that date. If you want to appear in clothes different than clothes that you have at the jail, you'll need to make arrangements with your attorney. Mr. Gonzalez, if there's an issue with the clothing exchange, let the court know. Mr. Jones, however, if you're on bond, you'll need to appear in the 187th District Court on May 31st at 9 a.m. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Do you need to speak with Mr. Gonzalez again?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez, I'll need you to make sure you bring Mr. Jones out of the breakout room once you finish speaking with him.
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 2. And Mr. Jones, breakout room number 2. Yes.
I don't normally ask for announce not ready. I had a call this morning that Roll Griffin passed away last night. He's a very close friend of mine. I haven't been able to follow up with anything, and I would like to be able to do that, but I know that I'm on this trial thing, and I don't know if the court would consider giving me it already.
All right, who is your client?
Albert Trevino, he's on bond.
All right, where's Mr. Trevino?
They've made a repair.
Okay. Have you spoken to the state?
I have.
Do they have any objection?
Well, I didn't talk to the state about this, Judge. No, not
Okay,
yet.
if you want to talk to
I'll
them about
mention
that.
it. It's my pleasure. I'll-
Judge, may I approach real quick, Paul Smith?
Yes, Mr. Smith.
I'm sorry, I had to run to federal court and do an arraignment. I came back. John is here, I'm here, and Mr. Hamilton are here. I don't know the status if we've resolved anything. The case I'm on is aggravated assault, and we're prepared to go forward with a trial date.
All right, have you spoken to a prosecutor on Mr. Hamilton's aggravated assault?
Not today, Your Honor. I have in the past.
All right, so his aggravated assault, is that family violence or criminal trial division? Because the state's supposed to make an offer to you. Has an offer been made?
I believe there was an offer made to John, but I don't know that. I don't know if they're going to accept it.
All right, so what I'm going to do, Mr. Smith, I'm going to send you to a breakout room with your client. Mr. Hamilton, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3 so that both attorneys can discuss with you what the offer is. So, Mr. Smith, you'll go to number 3. And John Distrude, if you'll go to 3, let me find your location. And Mr. Hamilton, if you'll go to 3, please. Just look at the bottom of your screen. You'll see where it says participants, or it'll say breakout rooms report. Just click on the 4 boxes that say breakout room. All right. You have Trevino?
Yes, yeah. I spoke to the state also on this issue, Judge. There's no objection.
And it's Aaron Trevino?
No, it's Alberto.
Alberto Trevino.
All right, because I have a lot of Trevino.
And a Trevinos.
All right. Go on the record. The court is going to call 2021 CR 749, State of Texas versus Alberto Trevino. Can I have parties announced for the state,
Michael Villarreal for the state.
for the defense?
Fernando Cortez, the defendant.
And are you Mr. Trevino?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We're here for jury trial today, but defense, you spoke to the court in the presence of the state off the record. You have an issue?
Yes, Your Honor. A very close friend of mine, Roll Griffin, and in fact, the opposing counsel just reminded me, we did one of our last trials during the opening of court together with Roll Griffin. I am notified that he passed away last night. I was notified of that this morning, and I haven't been able to reach out to anybody. And I would like the opportunity to do so. And I'm asking for not ready.
Any objections to the defense's continuance?
No, Your Honor.
How much time are you asking for?
Just this week is fine with me, Judge.
All right, if you want, the court can recall it next month because, as you know, we have certain schedules for jury trials. So I can recall it next week, but my experience with funeral arrangements and things that happen, it's usually longer than a week. So, I mean, if you want, I can put it on the docket for next week, or either I can push it out more.
I would prefer you put me out more to be sure, Judge, that I don't know anything about these things. So
Ms. Ferguson and Mr. Trevino, do you have any objections to this being continued?
I'm good.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Trevino, can I have a reset date for trial, but not next week? If you could push it out to next month, please. All right, so she's giving me a date of May 31st. Is that good for you?
yes, sure.
All right, so we'll recall you for May 31st, and Mr. Trevino will have you fill out a reset form. Okay, I'm
Thank
so
you, Judge.
sorry about that.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Tony Jimenez, you're back.
Yes, Judge. I conferred with the state. Could I go to a breakout room with Kent Leach, Your Honor?
Mr. Leach is actually here in the courtroom.
Oh,
So if you can come back to the 187th, he'll be here in the courtroom.
yes, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, James Meyer.
Can I see Brittany Sparks for a moment, please?
All right, thanks.
I didn't have your email, Brent. I sent both.
I'm going to send you to number 5. And Ms. Sparks, if you could go to breakout room number 5, please. And then Rusty Geyer. We have a Second Amendment issue.
Yes, that's fair enough, Your Honor.
Okay, so what is happening? I'm assuming that the protective order will not be signed. Is that my understanding?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So your client wants a jury trial?
That would be correct, Your Honor.
All right. So do you have all the discovery?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has an offer been tendered?
An offer was tendered, Your Honor.
And Mr. Rosales, are you rejecting that offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Will both parties be ready for jury trial in 2 weeks?
I'm assuming so. We should have to check with witness availability, but we're ready otherwise.
Okay. All right, then I tell you what, we'll set it out in 3 weeks. Ms. Ferguson, can you set this for jury trial in 3 weeks, please? Is the May 3rd for me? All right, May 3rd.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you'll need to get in court dressed for trial, Mr. Rosales. On May 3rd, the courtroom is located at 300 De La Rosa. It's on the 4th floor, 187 District Court. You'll need to appear in person and dress for trial. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I understand.
All right, we will see you then. You're excused.
Yeah, be excused. Thank you, Judge.
Yes.
Judge, maybe excuse me and Mr. Jones. I finished discussing it.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, Mr. Jones can go back.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anyone else ready on Zoom? All right, everyone, Ms. Ferguson will be out shortly to give everyone your lineup. Mr. Meyer?
If I could see Jesse Perez in custody once more, and I think we'll probably do a plea in the afternoon after lunch, if possible.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 4.
Okay.
Yes. All right, court is going to call 2019 CR 11417D, State of Texas versus Tony Renee Schiaretti. I have parties announced for the record for the state.
Ryan Groomer for the state of Texas.
For the defense. And I'm sorry, I have to turn on the fan. It is so hot in here. And are you Tony Schiaretti?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
None from the state, Your Honor. No.
Oh, actually, we're not proceeding. We're in person. But I say that because they gave me the video conference sheet. So even though the pandemic is happening, this is, and I have to put this on the record, this is a jury trial setting. So that's why we have people in the court, but I'm still encouraging everyone to socially distance. So Ms. Schiaretti, I'm going to show you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Schiaretti, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We're not, Judge. We have a motion to make. We would move to proceed on the lesser included offense of robbery.
Any objection?
No objection.
Ms. Schiaretti, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of robbery? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargaining agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargaining agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court to find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
She has.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Guerrero, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargaining agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived a right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargaining agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of robbery. There's a $1,500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea bargaining agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense is at the plea bargaining agreement.
It is, Your Honor.
State is at the plea bargaining agreement.
It is, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargaining agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, community service hours, no contact with the following persons: Kerry, Kerry, Yadel, Yelldel, Terrence Smith, Michaela, Makayla, Guerra, Ezekiel Washington, Arthur Wallace, that's AURTHUR, and you are enrolled and obtain a GED and maintain employment. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the lesser included offense of robbery, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
Yes, Judge. State would offer State's Exhibit number 1 to the court.
No, Judge.
Ms. Schiaretti, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it? Well, did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and will do the same. All right, after viewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding you guilty should apply for deferred adjudication. Anything you want to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, just that we asked the court to file a plea bargain, and if the court pleases, we can waive a PSI this time.
All right, so Ms. Guerrero, what are you doing with your life other than inviting people under the pretext of having sex with them and then having them robbed? What are you doing with your life?
Those text messages weren't actually me. They had taken my phone and they're all 6'1" and I'm 5'1" and I couldn't jump up and grab it. I wasn't near my phone.
So do you want a jury trial? Because see, right now, what is happening is sometimes people don't think that I've read things because I read quickly. So here's the thing. You are involved with all of these defendants. So don't come in here playing as though, oh my gosh, what? I didn't know anything. Somebody took my phone and started sending these text messages. And these people just came over and then a robbery just happened. And I'm just here not knowing anything that's going on. So let's be honest, because you've already entered a plea to this. So other than luring people over with text messages for sex and then having them robbed, what are you doing with your life?
I want to get a GED, go to college.
Why do you need a GED? Why do you complete school?
Because I was getting bullied my sophomore year, moved away for a year to go to school.
Did you go to school while you were away?
Yes. My junior year, I spent it in Illinois. Then I moved back here and I didn't go back to school because I didn't want to go through what I went through my sophomore year. And
so you just came back here and did nothing?
I was gonna go to a different school, but my mom couldn't take me to and from at the time because she had work.
What is the
And I
via
was
bus
going
for?
to-
Why, see, this is the problem with society today. Everybody wants to have their own vehicle and drive to where they get to. We used to walk to school. Or guess what? You take the via bus. So if your mom can drop you off at school, you're old enough to get involved with the people in this to rob some people. So why can you take the via bus to get to school? Because right now, all I'm hearing from you are excuses. I couldn't go to school because I was bullied. So then I went to Illinois. And who did you go to Illinois with?
I was staying with my cousin.
All right, so there's a reason why you got sent back to San Antonio from Illinois. If things were going great in Illinois, you would have been in Illinois and you would complete it, whatever you needed to complete it. What I've discovered in my time as a defense attorney and a prosecutor involved in CPS cases, when sometimes, and I would say about 60% of the time, when children leave their home to go live with their cousins in Illinois, one or two things are happening. Either the parents can no longer control them and they say, well, let's try a new setting. Now, I can't afford to go to Illinois, so I'm going to send you to Illinois with friends and family. Or either there's something wrong with the parents and they're like, I'm going to do my own thing. I don't want to be a parent, so I'm sending you to Illinois. Obviously, there was something happening in your home life where either you were not doing what you were supposed to do, which is attend school, and they sent you to Illinois for a change of scenery. Things were okay there for a while, but then something happened there. Either you were not doing what you were supposed to be doing, and they said, look, not our problem because not our child, we're sending her back to you to San Antonio. So all I've been hearing from you is what you're gonna do. But what have you been doing since this offense?
I was working, I had my own apartment. I
was working. Why are you not working?
Because I got sick and I had to get out of work for 2 weeks and then I got sick again and my manager just didn't like that I got sick and I was out of work for 2 weeks.
So who are you living with?
Right now I'm living with my mom.
And what problems are you causing there?
No problems.
So are you seeking another job?
Yes, I'm currently looking for another job. I'm going to apply at Amazon with my aunt and see how that goes. My aunt really likes it, so I feel like I'll like it. There's a couple other places that I have in mind.
And if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be? And know that you are getting drug tested today. So if it's going to be positive or something, It would behoove you to tell me right now what it is. Yes, tell the truth and shame the devil. What will it be?
It might come out positive.
For
just
what?
for marijuana.
Who have you been using marijuana with? Because I'm hoping it hasn't been at your mom's home.
No, it's not.
So who have you been using marijuana with?
One of my friends had it and they asked me if I wanted it. I hit it once.
No, nobody hits marijuana once.
No, I did. I swear. I just hit it once.
Okay. So you're out of work, but you do find time to have marijuana with friends. So that means that you are going to end up causing problems with your mom. I'm going to try to stop that and nip that in the bud. So how far did you go in school?
Senior year. That's when I didn't go.
Do you have any children?
No.
All right, any other questions from either side?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing, Judge.
All right, and you're going to be drug tested today, and so you're telling me it's only going to be marijuana?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to sentence you to 5 years deferred adjudication. There's a $1,500 fine. Time and money are going to run concurrent. There's to be no contact with Carrie Yadell, Terrence Smith, Michaela Guerrero, Ezekiel Washington, Arthur Wallace. There's going to be a UA, and I want her to be continually tested for levels, Ms. Reyes, and she's going to do a UA today.
Yes, ma'am.
And if she tests positive for anything other than marijuana, I want to know, and I want her back in court. There's going to be 200 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you to get the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. You're going to obtain your GED. Full-time employment. And for the court, full-time employment is at least 8 hours a day. So if you need to get 2 part-time jobs and get your 8 hours, then that's what you're going to have to do. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. So if you can't report by Zoom, you're going to have to report in person. I'm going to want her to have a curfew. So you need to be in the house by 6 p.m. The only exceptions to being in the house by 6 p.m. is if you're at work. And she's only allowed to leave the house by 7 a.m. So 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. I'm going to want field visits, random, 3 times per month. What is your mom's name?
Janetta.
Janetta what?
Sure, I did the same last name as me.
How do you spell her first name?
Junetta.
How do you pronounce your last name?
Sharetti.
Sharetti.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Italian, so it's kind of hard to.
All right. She's to reside with Janetta Sharetti. Rebecca, is there anything else that she needs? Is there any restitution involved here?
I don't believe so, Judge.
All right, anything else she needs, Norma? I'm sorry, Rebecca.
No, Judge, but on the employment, you want her to have the employment within how many days?
Within 30 days.
Okay, that was it, Judge.
Thank you. Is there anything else you need from me in order to be successful?
Judge, in regard to the curfew, the Amazon job she's talking about is at the warehouse in San Marcos. There may be some problem with getting there and back as far as the curfew goes.
It's overnight as well. Because it's.
The only exception to your curfew is if you're at work.
Okay.
So you'll need to provide proof of that.
Okay.
All right, next I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, and you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your
All right, we can go off the record. I don't know if you realize how dangerous what you did was. Number one, somebody could have been killed, in which case we'd be here for something different, maybe capital murder, who knows? Number two, when you send text messages to people telling them or offering them sex and they come over and expecting that, and it doesn't happen, but instead there's a robbery that's taking place, you know what could have happened then? Somebody could have killed you. And you know what everybody would have said? Oh, well, she came over here to rob somebody and she ends up getting killed. Your parents, I don't know your mom personally, but obviously she's trying to do something with you and help you with your life. You're making your life more difficult than it has to be. I always tell people, life is so simple. If you follow the rules, it will be fine. Now you've made your life exceptionally hard because this deferred adjudication is going to follow you around. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you.
Judge, can I go?
Put something in the chat for you, Rebecca.
Okay. I need to see her, so.
All right, just remain in the courtroom. All right, and Rebecca, are you in the courtroom or no?
No, not today, Judge.
Oh, that is so true. We'll make sure that we make arrangements for you to speak to her by Zoom.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. James Meyer?
Yeah, I would like to enter a plea for Jesse Perez in
All right,
custody.
just put in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson what the plea bargaining agreement is.
Okay, sure.
Paul Smith, Mr. Hamilton?
Yes, we're on my case, like I say, it's going to trial, but John and Mr. Hamilton are in on the breakout room, and I believe it's a family violence case. We wanted to see if we could get, I texted Mike to see if he'd come in. He said we need to deal with whoever like Brittany or whoever else is available.
Yes, because I'm assuming that the case is going to take precedence, the higher level offense case.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
I'll text Brittany or chat and see if she can join us in the breakout room real quick then, Judge.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So if you go back there, she'll meet you there. All right, thank you. Mr. Jimenez?
Yes, Judge.
Yes.
I just wanted to update the court on the status of my case. Judge,
Who's your client?
Mr. Leach, Kenneth Leach, Your Honor.
Just a moment. Yes.
Judge, I was provided by Mr. Sanders medical records on my client, and we cannot access those records. There's something wrong with my ability to access. That's been going on for a few days. I was hoping to have cleared that up before today, but I haven't been successful in that. I understand also that there's additional on-scene videos that apparently Mr. Sanders is going to provide. He's not available. I can't go forward without reviewing those additional videos and looking at the medical records at this time, Judge.
Judge, yeah, I did talk to Marcus. Obviously, he is out of town, but he did fill me in that I believe he's requested the videos. He hasn't gotten them back yet or gotten word whether their existence is not. Regarding the medical records, Tony's kind of let me know what's going on. I guess if he can't get into them, we'll try to figure out some other way to do it. I don't know, because I don't know what he's looking at on his end. But I know that my understanding is we're able to see them on our end. It's just something on his end isn't opening up.
Okay, Mr. Leach. Can you have Mr. Leach come up? We'll just put this on the record briefly, Mr. Jimenez, and then we'll figure out how to solve the issues.
Right. She's not here.
Hi, Mr. Leach. All right, Mr. Leach, we're just going to put something on the record when the court reporter returns, but your attorney is letting the court know that the medical records he's not able to open, which I understand. I used to have difficulty opening those too, because sometimes the password is wrong that you get sent. But we're going to make sure that he has all the evidence before you proceed to trial. All right, so we're just going to try to get a date, and the date that I'm going to end up giving you, Mr. Jimenez, it will be a date to make sure that the issue with opening the medical records is solved.
Yes, Judge.
So that's going to be this month. So Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Leach, let me see beforehand. On Mr. Leach, can we have a date for them at the end of the month so that the defense attorney can have access to the medical records?
Judge, may I address the court one more time?
Yes.
Judge, I have a vacation letter for the last week of this month, the first week of May. What I could do, Judge, to facilitate the court also is, if you do give me that date, I will work hard to report back to you on those medical records before that date, before I on vacation. I will specifically report back to you about the medical records.
All right, so we'll then, let me see what date she's giving me. All right, so we're gonna put it on April 28th, but I'll notate on the document sheet that you're not gonna be here. And Mr. Leach, you won't be brought over on April 28th or called on the Zoom. What will happen is I will receive notice that Mr. Jimenez has or has not been able to open the records.
Yes,
if for some reason he hasn't been able to open the records, just let me know before that date, and then we'll put it on a new date. And I'll have the state bring down whatever they need to bring down to open the records for you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hello.
Have that order for you, Judge.
All right. All right, Mr. Leach, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, so you understand what's happening?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And do you have any objections to us not proceeding with the trial until your attorney receives the information that he needs?
I have no problem.
Okay. All right, then we do have the video, so we'll have the video as opposed to the court's record.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else that you need?
No, Your Honor, I appreciate it.
All right, Mr. Leach, any questions before we have you go back?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you for your patience, Mr. Leach. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Judge. May I
Jimenez.
be excused?
Yes.
Yeah.
Norm, I just sent you a chat.
We're already.
Excuse me, Michael. And this one, the defense has called that one, Sharon, I have a hearing set for that, so if you could help Ms. Ferguson make sure that the caseworker and the child's advisor is present.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. What, do you know when she's setting it yet?
No, I haven't sent it back to her.
Okay. Judge, is this my copy or your copy?
Oh, that's my copy.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No problem. Court is going to call 2020 CR 6716 State of Texas versus Marlon Lynette Garrison. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Brian Groomer for the state of Texas.
for the defense?
Alberto for Ms. Garrison.
And are you Ms. Garrison?
Yes.
All right, off the record for a moment. Ms. Ferguson, can you get in touch with the attorney on Ski Ready to make sure that they're here so that Ms. Reyes can go over conditions with them?
I think they went over the conditions already, Judge.
Yes, ma'am, I already did. Thank you.
Oh, awesome, thank you. All right. All right, we're not proceeding by video.
Yeah, just in case.
No problem. All right, Ms. Garrison, I'm gonna show you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Counsel, I'm showing you the acknowledgement of discovery. Have you received all the discovery in this case? And did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Garrison, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Judge.
Ms. Garrison, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand you're charged with the offense of arson? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Ms. Garrison, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than a plea bargaining agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived a right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's a $1,500 fine to be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication, $3,000 restitution to Tiffany Souders, Souders. State agrees to defendant's motion for a new trial if defendant provides upfront restitution to the victim in the amount of $3,000 within 10 days of this plea. Is that the agreement, state?
It is, Judge.
Defense?
It is, Your Honor.
Did you understand that to be the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand, Ms. Garrison, that if you do not provide the restitution within 10 days, then this plea will stand?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
So, yeah.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargaining agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 3 years. There'd be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours community service restitution, and no contact with Tiffany Souders. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
Then to the offenses charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No comment.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
Yes, Judge. State would offer State's Exhibit number 1.
Any objection?
No objections, Judge.
Ms. Garrison, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you and your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent? Yes. Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand? Yes. Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. So I'm assuming you're no longer dating someone in the family. You all are still dating? That's either yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the person you're dating relationship to Miss Saunders?
It's cousin.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have this recalled in 10 days, please? All right, we're going to come back on April 25th.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Reyes, on this case, there's not a reason for her to speak to you just yet because it's going to be without a PSI. So we're just going to come back on April 25th.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you,
There's
Judge.
nothing else. You are excused. We'll see you on April 25th. Make sure you get a reset form.
Yes, ma'am. Have a good day.
Thank you. Going to take our break. And we will be back at 1:55. So.
Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Who's calling my name?
Paul Smith, may I approach? We just needed a trial date. We've been unable to resolve it on Mr. Hamilton.
Did you speak with the state?
Yes.
Brenda, you can be excused.
Okay.
You're welcome. And Mr. Hamilton only has 2 cases, is that correct? The aggravated assault and the possession? Am I talking to myself?
Yes, Your Honor. I represent him regarding all the other cases except for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, including the possession case. And Mr. Smith represents him regarding the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon case.
So he only has 2 cases, is that correct?
No, ma'am. Well, yes, Your Honor, he does at this point.
Well, actually, I see 3 cases on the docket, just a moment.
I've got tampering with an evidence, 2 possession cases, failure to ID.
All right, to the clerks, I'm missing a file on Mr. Hamilton. I only have 2021 CR 11651 and 2021 CR 10655. I need 2021 CR 10659. So if you can bring that, please.
Okay, Judge, we'll get it to you.
And Norma, if we can set this for a plea deadline date, please, at the end of April. All right, your plea deadline date will be April 25th.
Very well, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay, may we be excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
Member Hamilton, 14A can go back. Goodbye, Mr. Hamilton. And we're going to stop live stream.